Hey everyone, Danielle Fitzpatrick Clark here from Influence Builder, and I am hosting an amazing giveaway with some incredible contributors, the best and the brightest in the online space. And today we're going to do something special for everyone and also for our people who've already joined the giveaway, which started yesterday, July 6th, and it does run to the 26th, so there's still time to sign up. But I am here with Cindy Holbrook, and she is the Visibility Wiz, which I love that title, Cindy. That's a fantastic title. But just I'm going to tell you guys a little bit about Cindy, and then we're going to jump into visibility. She is uniquely gifted at guiding entrepreneurs to thrive as they go up the ladder from being the best kept secret to trusted and in demand authority in the online space. So clients benefit from her empowering systems and strategies that enable them to honor their own integrity and attract their ideal clients while building a fun and profitable online business. And she's also the host of Biz Success and she's been in tons of podcasts herself, but she also interviews top experts that share 15-minute strategies to build their own business. And she's been featured, guys. She's been featured on all these amazing platforms like the Huffington Post, Women's Speaker Association TV, Prevention, MSN, and also she's been a guest on numerous summits, podcasts, and radio shows. And her big mission, guys, is to guide entrepreneurs to have the confidence and the know-how so that they can succeed. So thank you, Cindy. Hopefully I
Oh,
didn't botch it too bad.
not at all. Thank you, Danielle. It's a pleasure to be here.
Oh, it's my pleasure. I love visibility, the topic of it. And I
Mhm.
will say that it was one of my biggest struggles when I first came out in the online space. So we're super grateful to have you here.
It is for a lot of people,
Yeah.
and especially recently with COVID-19, there's so many people that base their whole business on speaking, and now they're really trying to figure out how to get the same type of leverage online.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas whenever I started coaching back in 2009, I
Mm-hmm.
had to only use online strategies because I worked 50 hours a week in social services. And then I live in a remote town that's literally 90 miles from anywhere. So to drive an hour and a half, 2 hours to speak, and then having to drive an hour and a half, 2 hours back wasn't a viable option for me at the time.
Wow. Well, that's kind of a you're just getting thrown into this.
Yeah. Yeah, so I definitely, yeah. So, well, I had some other online businesses before, so I had learned a lot from them. For years, I did Google Ads,
Hmm.
and I was selling other people's stuff until the big Google slap of 2008 killed my business overnight.
Wow. Wow.
So I had worked up, so I had known a lot of strategies, but then I learned more once I became a coach.
Wow, that's fantastic. And I love that you're really hitting home on what is it has become and how
Mhm.
doesn't matter if people have been in the online space or if they've had a brick and mortar, it's now essential to be online. So are
Yeah.
you finding that a lot of people are nervous? There's like a new amount of people that are coming in the online space and it's really nerve-wracking for them to be visible.
Definitely with anything, and a lot of people, what I see a lot of people doing is they sort of want to hide behind the curtain until they get confident. And what I say is I like to help my clients get outrageous confidence.
Mhm,
Number one, confident, you'll never be confident unless you do it.
mhm,
And so I always say confidence is a state of being. It's not
mhm.
a state that you're ever going to arrive at. It's just you choosing and being willing to do something that you've never done before, or being willing to do something that you're terrified of.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah,
I love
and to be
that.
outrageously confident,
Mhm,
outrageous means to be bold and to
mhm.
do something a little bit crazy that maybe you wouldn't do ordinarily. So sometimes I use props or stuff like I have a wizard costume and I have a magic wand, or I'll put a mask on my face. I don't have a mask next to me, but I'll go, I want to be seen. No, I don't. I want to be seen. No, I don't. And people constantly play that game, which doesn't give the right energetic vibration to the clients that they're meant to serve.
Oh, I love
And
that you use those words.
yes. So if you're outrageously confident, you
Mhm,
do something that's bold, that's a little bit different. For
mhm,
instance, years ago, when I was at a conference, I wore this sweater, and somebody told me, that sweater makes you look fat and frumpy. I would never wear it outside. And I
mhm,
was like, oh my God, I don't want to like go to these conferences or meetings and be seen as fat and frumpy. So
yeah,
I would only wear the sweater inside my house for a couple of years. One day I
mhm,
had some errands to do, so I had different stores to go to, and it was cold outside, so I grabbed my sweater and I just ran outside with it. So I
mhm,
go to the first store, and this woman comes up to me and tells me how beautiful I am and how beautiful the sweater is, and how just gave me all these raving compliments about the sweater.
mhm.
And then I went to another store, and then there's an old lady that did the same thing. And I thought, why am I accepting this other person's comment as my truth? If she thinks
Mhm,
I look fat and frumpy, so be it. There's those that don't think I look fat and frumpy.
mhm,
And so what I did is I came home and I had my husband take a picture of me in this sweater, and then
mhm,
I sent it to my entire email list. Now
mhm.
that was something that was bold. That was like outrageous for me because
Yeah.
for years I was like hiding this sweater because I didn't want people to think I was fat and frumpy.
Oh, what a great story. And there's an underlying moral of it too. You
Oh,
know,
definitely.
with the transformation that you went through. I love that.
Hmm. Yeah.
So, and
Yeah.
I bet there's a lot of people that are still putting that judgment on themselves too whenever they're coming online and being visible. I know I certainly did when I first came out. What is the one thing that you would say is a misconception when it comes to visibility?
Well, I think one of the biggest misconceptions is that you have to do a video, you have to be live, you have to show your face, quote unquote, on camera. Okay, I really think that that's the 100 biggest myth out there,
Yeah.
because everybody knows, and I would never say video is not the place to go. Videos
Hmm.
definitely is on the rise, and people enjoy video. But
Hmm.
there's nothing saying that the videos have to have you in it. You can use
Hmm.
PowerPoint slides. I actually have a blog post I wrote once, 7 ways to be visible without being on camera.
Hmm.
And I have taught this a lot because everybody's like, you have to be on camera, you have to be on camera. But you can create awesome videos without being on camera. And
Hmm.
that being said, I do believe it's important to be seen. You want to be visible. You want people to know who you are. And the only way they're going to do that is by seeing you. But if you go on camera and you're not ready and you're not confident, you will
Hmm.
be like I was. My name is Cindy.
Yeah.
Today I was that's exactly how I did my first videos.
Yeah.
Exactly. I was so terrified. I wanted to pronounce every word correctly.
Hmm.
I wasn't my daughter was like, "God, mom, that doesn't even look like you." Because she's used to me being animated. She's used to the
Hmm.
way that I talk, and she was shocked. But
Hmm.
I practiced and practiced and practiced and practiced. So I believe that you don't want to just hop on video right away if you're not comfortable with it,
Hmm.
but you do want to practice in the background. I probably made a good 50 to 100 videos
Hmm.
before I showed my first video to anybody. And
Hmm.
because I had to get out of like my daughter had to at least think that it looked like me talking, right?
Hmm. Yeah.
Uh, and I think that's the biggest myth out there has to do with that. Another one is you need to have this perfect, beautiful website before you
Hmm.
get started. I
Hmm.
have worked with people who've literally, and I don't think they've still got started to this date, because she kept revamping her website. Well, I've changed. That's not my message anymore. I'm going to change it. Well, we evolve, and there's nothing wrong with you want to get it out there
Hmm.
and you want your website to grow with you. Don't wait till you're done growing because you're never done growing until you're dead.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good point, guys. And I agree. I agree. You don't need a website to get going.
Yeah,
It is.
you need yeah, I think everybody should have, and anybody can do this, I believe, in a weekend, or you can pay somebody to do it for very inexpensively, is a 4-page website.
Yeah.
One page is your opt-in gift, something to start building your list.
Hmm.
One page is about you. One page is a contact page, and the fourth page is the privacy policy because that's required by law. And the fifth one, if you want a fifth one, is your products and services.
Yeah. Yeah, and
That's
you know,
all you need.
I'm seeing a lot of people doing just that, all that on just one page and getting it all
Oh,
together.
exactly.
Yeah. So like,
Exactly.
and I agree because like you can
Mhm.
have just, and there's so many systems out there that will make it really easy. Like hosted a website on my CRM for a year. It
Mhm.
didn't slow me down at all, and a lot of my stuff was just on one page. My
Yes.
freebie. So it just works. It doesn't have to be fancy people. And you know, a lot of times I tell people like if you want your website needs to give them directions to the next step. So thank you
Exactly.
for saying that.
Yeah.
That's really good information.
Yeah.
So I
And
oh go ahead.
oh, go ahead. No, you go ahead.
I was just gonna ask, like, you know, you had a couple of misconceptions. So if somebody isn't comfortable coming right out on video. You
Right.
said they don't have to. What are some of like the first things that they can do just to get visible?
With video number one, there you could create a really quick 1 minute video with using PowerPoint. You
Yeah.
can actually create a PowerPoint, and there's a setting in there that allows you to record your voice over your slides. And there's another setting in there that allows you to download it as a video, as an MP4. So that is like one of the easiest, fastest ways because you are in control of everything.
Mhm.
There's it's one of my favorite softwares. It's called Lumen 5, Lumen 5.
Mhm.
And they will give you 5 free videos a month, or they have paid options as well.
Mhm.
And what you do is you just put your URL of a blog post or something in it,
Mhm.
and then it creates different video slides for you based on that. Sometimes you have to do a lot of editing with that. You can also input your own words and your own pictures, and they have music that you can add to it, and it just goes right away. So those two things, you can still promote your business with them very easily. Another option is going to Fiverr.com, Fiverr.com.
Mhm.
And there's a lot of people out there that will create little videos for you, like with a hand drawing or, little animated characters with your logo. They will do all kinds of things for you that's not too expensive. So
Yeah.
those are, I would say, some of the top ways that you can have a video to
Mhm.
promote your business without having to be on camera. You could do, if you do a Facebook story or an Instagram story, they're supposed to
Mhm.
be a minute long.
Mhm.
So if you have 5 tips on how to make money, you could do a little video on PowerPoint or any of the other things that I said. But if you don't want to spend any money, do it on PowerPoint,
Mhm.
and then you have 5 videos with one for each tip.
Ah, I like that. That's really good. And you said Facebook stories and Instagram stories, so you can actually create it and then stream it
Well,
on
yeah,
both.
because whenever you download it from PowerPoint, you're downloading as an MP4.
Yeah.
So with Instagram or Facebook, you're uploading the MP4.
Very nice.
You can
Very
also
nice.
put them on YouTube. This is something else that I see a lot of people doing if somebody's doing video
Mhm.
is if you have a video, a lot of people will upload it on YouTube and then share their YouTube video on Facebook. And
Mhm.
that's going to actually you'll still get some people watching it, don't get me wrong, but
Mhm.
Facebook actually puts a ding on you because
Mhm.
you're using their competitors' software.
Yeah.
So what I suggest is you upload directly to YouTube, you upload directly to Facebook, and
Yeah.
Facebook's going to give you brownie points because now it's on Facebook, and so then Facebook is more people will see it this way. You'll get a lot of visibility on YouTube and you'll get a lot of visibility on Facebook if you upload them to each individual platform.
Oh, I think I lost my connection for a second. Yeah, that's really good advice. And I think it's a good rule of thumb too when it comes to social media that all the platforms are
Mhm.
for them.
Yeah.
So if you want to get a bump in so what you're saying basically, any social media platform you use, you want to upload directly
Yes.
so that you're boosted in the algorithm. So
Mhm.
you're more visible is what you're saying.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, beautiful. Beautiful. Thank you. That's really good advice. I hould have told you guys to bring a pen and paper. So So you've given a lot of good tips, and I'm sure
Mhm.
within there's a lot to help people stand out in the crowd. But what would you say would be like your number one tip to have someone, if somebody wanted to stand out in the crowd and also be recognized as an expert?
Um, First of all, people drive themselves crazy trying to figure out what makes me unique, what makes me different than all the other diet experts or visibility experts or marketing experts.
Mhm,
And ask yourself this one simple question, and this is going to help you know what makes you stand out from the crowd.
mhm,
What do these other experts do
mhm.
or not do that completely drives you crazy? Just drives you nuts. You think it's wrong, you think there's a better way, you think they're feeding you bullshit, whatever it is.
Mhm.
Whenever you ask yourself that question, this is your unique message, because this is different from what everybody else is touting, and you want to be able to back it up with
Yeah.
whatever. I have a colleague, she does diets, she does um, what I'm trying to remember exactly, but her thing is make peace with food.
Yeah.
Okay, and what really drives her nuts is so much of what the diet experts will tell you. Like
Mhm.
she doesn't believe, she believes your body will 100% tell you what you need, and if you listen to your body, you can get to your desired weight.
Mhm.
Versus trying all these fad diets and everything else. But it really, I mean, it really drives this woman nuts.
Mhm.
So whenever you can find something like that that drives you nuts,
Mhm.
then that makes you stand out from the crowd.
Yeah.
Going along with that, and I've heard this a lot over the last few weeks for some reason.
Mhm.
So many people are like, I'm not a I'm not a Tony Robbins. How can I do self-improvement? I'm not a Tony Robbins.
Mhm.
Or, how can I teach people how to do membership sites, because I'm not I think his name was Stu McCarran. And
Mhm.
so you're comparing yourself to these big top gurus in your field, and you're
Mhm.
thinking, well, who am I? But the
Mhm.
thing is first of all, they do not have the same message you have.
Mhm.
And I always say that you are meant to serve a certain people. You were put here, and those people are hardwired to know who you are, and they're hardwired to understand your voice.
Mhm.
I usually liken this to birds. I like to sit out on my porch in the morning and meditate, and I have a big tree outside so I
Mhm.
can hear all these birds. The
Mhm.
ravens will respond to the ravens. The doves will respond to the doves. The Tweety birds respond to the Tweety birds. They're all talking at once, but you can really, if you sit there and you listen really quietly, you can see that the birds are only talking to their own kind. And that's how your perfect clients are. They are
Mhm.
hardwired to hear your voice. So if you're a dove, the other doves are going to hear you.
Mhm.
And if this guru is a raven,
Mhm.
their clients just aren't yours.
Mhm.
And so there's this mixture, and you have to know and believe. Nobody can serve everybody in the world, but your
Mhm.
people are hardwired, and they're waiting for you to give them the solution that they're looking for.
Yeah. So a really good implementable step for what you're talking about is if you're wondering what your message is, what your unique selling proposition is, just go to Facebook, get a pen and paper and Excel going and write down all the comments that drive you crazy.
Exactly. Yeah, there's a ton of it's one of the things that with I started out as a divorce coach.
Yeah.
So I went through this period. I knew that I wanted to transition to something else, and I wasn't for sure what. I
Mhm.
actually sort of became a dating coach, and I didn't want to teach dating.
Mhm.
I loved helping people grieve their divorce and find happiness, but I
Mhm.
didn't like them helping them so much finding dates and finding their second loves.
Mhm.
So I really was getting burned out on it.
Mhm.
And I was in this group, and one of the people in the group, their their social, they were drove me nuts. And so I was talking to my coach, and I said, this person is driving me nuts. They don't have a picture on their Facebook profile. They have like little stones that says peace or love or whatever. They don't have their picture on their Facebook. If you look at their Facebook profile, their Twitter profile, their LinkedIn profile, and their web page,
Mhm.
nothing is congruent. Their message isn't congruent. Their colors aren't congruent. You don't even know it's the same person talking to you in all these different places. And I was really going at it because it was driving me nuts. And my coach said, you want to teach people about visibility.
Mhm.
That's how the Visibility Wiz was born,
Mhm.
because all this stuff drove me nuts.
Mhm.
And I really didn't see anybody talking about it. I
Mhm.
didn't see anybody talking really about it. Everything you do on social media needs to have one congruent message, and they need to know through branding, however that is. That I had somebody tell me I have a hummingbird as my logo, and somebody told me every time I see that hummingbird, I get happy and I think of things that you've said.
Mhm.
And that's what you want. That's the type of visibility you want out there, is to
Mhm.
where everything's congruent. And if somebody sees a part of it, they're going to remember your message.
Yeah, and it's really interesting because something so subtle as a hummingbird is also relatable, right? So
Hmm.
it's like you're creating relatability through your branding and through your visibility, which I love
Yeah.
that piece of it because it connects us as human beings more. So, like you were saying, the ravens talk to the ravens. Well, the
Hmm.
hummingbird lovers will talk to the person that has a hummingbird in their
Right.
logo. So beautiful. All good stuff, guys. I hope you're going to take lots of notes. So okay, so we've talked a lot about all these steps, and I love that you brought this up before we jumped on here about a visibility plan. So if you're just really jumping into being more visible in the online space, which I know there's a ton of new people coming in the online space because of COVID. What's the first three things that they need that is completely vital to their visibility plan?
It's really, really simple, but a lot of people skip these steps because they just want to go at it. I
Mhm.
skipped them because I worked in social services. I thought I could help everybody. So I did not have a defined perfect client. A lot of people will define their niche, but they won't define their perfect client.
Mhm.
And if you don't define your perfect client, that's like saying any man between 40 or 60 can be my perfect husband. Nobody is going to go on a dating site. Nobody's going to go on a dating site with that mindset. They
Mhm.
know what build they want them. They know what type of work, what their sense of humor is, maybe their religion, their political preferences, all kinds of things that you want to know about
Mhm.
somebody before you even want to have that first date. And
Mhm.
it's the same thing with your perfect client. So you
Mhm.
want to know, what is it about them that you love, and what is it about you that they love? So you really define who your perfect client is.
Mhm.
Um, and it's going to fall within a niche, but you're going to be talking to that perfect client. And I also suggest that you name them. And even if you draw a picture of them, it's going to make them stand out more to you, because then whenever you're making any content, whether it's social media or a blog post or an email, you're writing to that one person.
Yeah.
And no, if you're dove and you're writing to another dove, other doves are going to resonate with it as well.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's really important to have your perfect client. Secondly, you need to know what words they use and how they describe their problems. So
Mhm.
this takes a little bit of research. So you want to, like I always say, go to Facebook groups and just hang out in Facebook groups. Don't post or anything. Just watch what people are asking. What words do they use? Because you can go to Facebook groups of people who cater to your niche market, and you can gather so much information.
Mhm.
And again, because if you're a dove, you're going to be attracted to the questions other doves are asking. It's
Yeah.
just, we're hardwired that way. And then you're going to create a gift based on their biggest problem,
Mhm.
and you're going to offer this to, that you can start, there's so many different things you can do, but you will offer this gift to your people. And this
Mhm.
way you start building up an email list.
Mhm.
Talking about mistakes, this is one of the biggest mistakes people do, is they don't start an email list. Oh,
Mhm.
I've heard people say this.
Yeah.
I'm not going to even start my list till I have 1,000 people in my Facebook group, or I have 5,000 Twitter followers, or what have you. And social media is
Mhm.
not, you're never going to own it. And you
Mhm.
have to own three pieces of real estate. You have to own your own email list. You
Mhm.
have to own your own URL that you have hosted. And you have to own your own brand. Your brand isn't just a hummingbird, it's your message, it's the whole picture of who you are.
Mhm.
Um, And those are the three things that you need. So if you don't start with an email list or you think you're building it on social media, if Facebook changes its algorithm, it can shut you down overnight. And I've seen this happen to people in the past year. I said earlier, I don't know if it was on camera or before camera, where I did Google AdWords and I had the Google slap. So I was making decent money and my business died overnight because Google changed its algorithm. And you don't, and it still happens to people in social media. I knew this guy who was making big bucks on Twitter a couple of years ago until Twitter changed all its algorithm and his business basically died overnight. So you don't want to rely on social media. You need that list because it's your list and nobody's going to kill it overnight. They're not going to say, hey, you can't talk to these people anymore.
Yeah, beautiful.
So, and so to me, that's the number one thing to do is to have your list. And then you use this list and you start talking, again, going back to Facebook groups. You can answer people's questions, but you're not being salesy. You're just being helpful and friendly. Because if you have your Facebook personal profile set up right, and you can look at mine, you can see that I have links to my websites. I have links to my groups. So you can see, you can easily find my business from my personal profile. And if you have it set up right, whenever people are reading, they're going to go, wow, man, Danielle, she just keeps answering all these questions. She's really smart. Who is she? They're going to look at your personal profile, which is going to lead them to your business.
Gotcha. So the first tip, so we've got 3. The first tip is to
it's to know, the first tip is to know your client. Know your perfect client, because we're never, because this is the only person that it's important to be visible in front of. Yeah. Seriously. If your ideal market are single moms of toddlers, it's not going to do you any good to be visible by a million senior citizens. So whenever you know who your perfect client is, it's easy to know where they hang out. Like, do they like skiing? Do they like water skiing? They might be in water skiing places. A lot of like dating experts, they intertwine the law of attraction with them. So if their ideal client is into the law of attraction is another place where you can go to be. But you're not finding clients. You're just going out there quietly saying your expertise, answering questions, and allowing people to come to you. And that's actually a lot easier than trying to find a client.
It's magnetic marketing at
Yes.
its best.
Yes.
It's showing up where your ideal clients are looking for the solution.
So know your perfect client. That's number one. Number 2 is create an opt-in gift to your newsletter based on what your ideal client wants and needs, using their words. And then thirdly, have on, if you look on my Facebook profile, you have a little section where you can like say something about you. So I have on there, get your I don't remember exactly what it says, but get your free copy of 5 Secrets to Online Visibility. And I have the link there. So up front, somebody says who I am, it's right away, I am offering my free gift. That's what they see. In my Facebook group, whenever you ask to join, I ask you, do you want your free copy of 5 Secrets to Online Visibility? So you're putting this everywhere that you own. You own you don't own, but you have your Facebook group and your Facebook business page where you can promote yourself. And with other groups that you're not the admin of, you need permission, or sometimes people have certain days. Like I have Toot Your Horn Tuesdays, and so you can go promote anything on Toot Your Horn Tuesdays in my group. So you're promoting your gift, which is building your list. And your list is, the more you build your list, this is your continuous, this is the easiest way to have a continually knowing who to market to. Because as your list grows, you know how to market to them, you talk to them. And whenever you have a new product or service, you have somebody to share it with that's interested in it.
Beautiful. So we're part of this awesome giveaway. which is the Influence Builder Christmas in July. And you don't have just one gift, you have two gifts.
Right. Yes.
So I'm going to give people a little bit of information below so they can go and grab your gifts, but I'd love for you to share more.
My first gift is a video series. It's 9 steps to be a trusted and in-demand expert. And so with this, I do share the number one strategy to get booked on podcasts and radio shows that's going to get you noticed fast. How to leverage the expertise of others. That's really important. Leveraging other people's expertise to get on the fast track to establish your own expert status. And 2 surefire ways to get quoted and published on established and reliable websites and blogs. And how to stand out the crowd to inspire feelings of trust so that clients pay you top dollar. And a little known secret, which I just shared with you, really is just about Facebook. Whenever you start answering these questions on Facebook and you're not marketing yourself, people start seeing you as an expert. And I go a little bit more into it in the video series. So that's my first gift, the 9 steps to be a trusted and in-demand expert. And my second gift is a 7-step checklist to radically up-level your visibility online. So I have the 7 steps and the actual checklist, but then I go into a little bit more detail on how you do each step. And so it's definitely discovering the fastest path to be known as a trusted and in-demand expert, to identify your ideal client. So I have different little exercises in there that you can do to identify your ideal client, where to find them and what language they use. And then you understand how to make real connections and engage with your ideal audience for the know, like, and trust factor.
Oh, good gifts, guys. You want to go grab them. You have until the 26th, but we're telling everyone you want to grab them sooner. Come on in, because there's actually some extra things that are going on where you can get all these gifts, and then you can also earn a $250 Amazon gift card by sharing out the giveaway. So guys, come on over. It's a bit.ly. It's just bit.ly. So bit.ly/Christmas in July, Xmas in July. You can see right below this. So go and grab Cindy's amazing gifts. If visibility is a pain point or something that you've been hiding from, now's the time to get out there, guys. It's the perfect time to get out there, wouldn't you say, Cindy?
Oh, I definitely think it's a perfect time. And with the 9 steps to visibility, when you download that, what I strongly suggest you do, each video is maybe about 10-15 minutes long, and then I have action steps for you to do. And if you take one of those steps each day, within 10 days, you're going to be really grounded in what it takes to establish yourself as an authority and an expert.
Beautiful. I love it. Well, appreciate you coming on here.
Thank you very much for having me.
And do you have any little final tidbits for the audience members?
First of all, be consistent and get visible. Nobody is going to know who you are until you decide to get visible. And it doesn't mean sharing all of your deep, dark secrets. It means sharing your message. Whenever you get a clear message that people resonate with, my basic message that is everywhere is get seen, get known, get clients. And so whenever you define your message that way and you start shouting it, people are going to start resonating that with you. And it's going to, again, help you stand out from the crowd, be visible, and attract your perfect clients.
Yeah, beautiful. Well, thank you so much, guys, for coming. Thank you, Cindy, for joining us and talking about visibility. I know this is a huge pain point for people, so I appreciate you and what you're doing in the world to bring that solution. So thank you so much. And yeah, guys, come on over to the giveaway, and we'll see you in there.
Thank you. Big hugs.